Hello, everyone. This is Latricia again. This is going to be another story time. I wanted to talk about something that happened to me years ago when I was a young girl, um, elementary school student. I was molested by my uncle-in-law, who was married to my mother's sister, my aunt. And I was molested for a number of years. There's this one little story that I want to pull out of there that kind of stood out from all the other things that he done. But it's gonna be hard to talk about because I get emotional sometimes when I'm talking about it. But I'm just gonna go ahead and get it off my chest. Although I talked about it before, to other people, I just want to share it again. Um, it was a winter day. I was in my room. I don't know, maybe watch TV or something, but I don't remember. But I just remember being in my room, and my mother was in the kitchen cooking, and she told me, and it was a school day. I didn't go to school that day for whatever reason. I don't know, but she was cooking in the kitchen, my mother, and she told me to go over to my aunt's house to ask for a bag of pinto beans. And so I was like, okay. So I put on my boots and everything, my coat and all of that. And I got up and I just went on out the door and walked up the street. And we was living on the street called Drexel. So I was walking up the street. I had to walk past Polka Dot, the store that used to be open. And then I had to cross the street, cross over Mac to get on the other side of the street so that I can get to Copland. So made it to Copland and walked down the street. Finally, I made it to the fence and went in the fence, went in the back, went to the back, and rang the door. Well, knocked, yeah, rang the doorbell or knocked. I don't remember if it was a bell back there. I just know that I did something. Probably was a bell back there, but anyways, my uncle-in-law came down the stairs, and I was a little nervous, but just went on and asked him. I said, I'm not gonna mention my aunt's name, just for privacy purposes, but I asked him. I said, if my relative, I'll say that, is she there? And he said, no, she's not here. Matter of fact, he said nobody was there but just him. And I said, well, my mother said, you know, to ask if y'all had like a bag of pinto beans here. And he said, come on in and check and see in the cabinet. So I walked in to the back door, up the stairs, went in the kitchen. So he pulled this chair out and he told me to stand on it and look up in there and check and see. So I stood up on the kitchen chair and I moved some bags of beans around. And while I was doing that, I noticed that he started to touch on my behind. And so I was like, well, I got real nervous and I was like, I was like, well, I can't find him. And so he was like, okay, just get down. I'll see if I can find him. So got down off the chair and he pushed the chair up underneath the table and he started to check up in the cabinets to see if any pencil beans up there. So he found them. He said, I got them. And so he passed them to me. And then he grabbed my hand. And mind you, he had on a robe. And I could see, here we go. Sorry. All right. I could see that that this like he had like an erection through his robe, and he grabbed my hand and he was like, "Here, let's go into the room." And I was looking down at his robe at his penis area was, and I was like, my mother, I mean, I got so afraid, like so afraid. I was like, well, my mother, she told me, I gotta take these beans back home. I got to be there like real quick because she said if I take too long, I'm gonna be in trouble, and I don't want to get in trouble. And so he still, sorry, he grabbed my hand, and I was like, I have to go home, and I was like, I don't want to get in trouble, and so he let my arm go, and he's like, okay. He said, well, so and so they gonna be gone for a minute, so just take those beans over there and come back. And I was like, okay, I'll be back. I was like, I'll be back. I was like, just let me take these beans home first, so I won't get in trouble. He's like, okay, knowing that I wasn't coming back at all. It was just a lie to try to get myself out of that situation before something bad happened to me. So we walked down the stairs, the basement stairs, got to the back door, and he opened up the door and let me out, and then he closed it and he locked it, and I walked all the way to the fence, and once I got to the fence, I just ran. I ran as fast as I could. I was so scared. I ran as fast as I could till I made it to Mac. And then once I got to Mac, I slowed up and I just stopped and I grabbed my breath. Like I'd never been so scared in my life. And I crossed over Mac, and then I made it back to Drexel and then down to my mother's house, and knocked on the door. She opened up the door, let me in, and gave her the beans, and I went in the room and sat down, and I was so scared. Like I was thanking God that He got me out of that situation because it could have went worse. Just quick thinking, on my part. I never did go back over there, and I wasn't going back over there. You know, and I always thought about it, like, you know, what if he would have took me in the room anyways? What would have happened to me? You know, I believe deep down in my heart that I think that he was going to try to have sex with me, or try to rape me, I should say. But thankfully, I was able to get out of the situation and go home. All I know is, the molestation lasted for so long. Like, I can't even remember when it started because I was so young. I remember being in second grade and he taking me to school, and between second or third grade, one of those two grades, I remember him taking me to school, and there was a school bus behind us, and he always rode around in those Lincoln Continentals, those old Lincolns. So we was in his car, and he was touching me. And he had put his hand in my clothes and was fondling me while people were just walking by. And I was just staring out the window, just hoping like maybe somebody would come up and save me from this man, but nobody ever saw it, And finally he moved his hand, and I just got out the car. And I remember I was in tears. Like, I went to the back of the school, I was in tears. But, man, that's sad. A lot of people wonder, like, why I kept going back over to my relative's house. And people don't realize is that I never liked it what was going on with me. When you're growing up in an abusive home, dealing with your mother, and she's abusing you, you'd rather deal with what going on over there. Like you'd rather be molested than to go through that physical abuse of what your mother was doing to you. So I'd rather go over to the house and deal with what my uncle was doing to me than to sit at home at my mother's house and go through what we was going through at her house. Like, not every weekend that I went over to my uncle's house, like I would go on that block, but I'll go down the street to my friend's house and sit and chill at her house, and and then a lot of times my mother would drop us off whenever she was going out or whatever. So people used to say, well, if he did this or he did that to her, why she kept coming over and why this and why that, she, whatever. Thing is, like I said before, you would deal with whatever that's going on with you. Although you didn't like it, but you rather dealt with it than to sit at home and be abused by your mama. So yeah, I dealt with it. I didn't like it, but I dealt with it. And not only, you know, um, my uncle in law was doing stuff to me, but his son was doing stuff to me and to one of my deceased cousins as well. And a lot of people didn't know this, but yeah, my cousin used to force us to have oral sex on him. We had to perform oral sex on him. He would do it on us. He did stuff with me, with my cousin sitting right there, and vice versa, So we were the only ones that knew about what was going on, but nobody else didn't know. But then there was a time my cousin, I was in my cousin's room, I was watching TV, and um, so my cousin, he comes out of the bathroom, whatever, he was dressed, whatever, he comes in the room and he basically forced himself on me. He pulled my clothes down and he forced himself on top of me. And he never penetrated me or anything like that, but he would try to, and it would be so painful. But he never actually got it to that point, where he was inside of me. But he would try to have sex with me. And so, but anyways, this particular day, it was a school day, and he had my clothes down. He was just about to get on top of me, and my aunt, not his mother, but his mother's sister, she walked in on us, and she surely did. And he hopped off of me, and my clothes was all the way down to my ankle, and I was just laying there and looking at her. I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna be in trouble. They're gonna think that I like this. They're gonna think all this and that, and I'm gonna get in trouble. And my mother and the first thing I thought about, my mother gonna beat the hell out of me. And so I was just so scared. And I'm like, I got to tell my mother the truth now. What's going on? I'm gonna have to tell her the truth so I won't get in trouble for something that I didn't do. Like, I didn't like this. I didn't want him to do this to me. So basically, she walked in. She looked at him. She looked at me. She hit him across his chest with her hand. He walked out the door, and she sat there and she basically stared at me. And then she, walked out the door and closed the door back. And I thought she was gonna tell his mother about it. Thing is, she never told nobody about it. She kept it a secret. When I got home, my mother never knew about it or anything. I was prepared to sit down and talk to my mother, but she never talked about it. I don't think she think that I remember that she caught him on top of me. But yep, she surely did. So, but you know, that happened. And well, instead of her taking me to school, she just took him to school and left me behind. So I ended up catching a bus and went on home. And I was so afraid that my mother that I was gonna get in trouble. But once I got in the house, I realized she didn't even know anything. Nobody ever told her anything, and neither did his mother know. She never told nobody. So if you ever see this video, I still remember it. You know, you caught him on top of me, so you can't deny it because I was there, he was there, and you was there. So, but you know, it's just sad that a lot of families keep secrets like that, and let stuff just go on. You know what I'm saying? And that's why after a while, because I used to call it he sexually abused me, but then I thought about it. I'm like, well, um, somebody had told me, and they said, well, because we were so close in age, because I'm 43 right now and he's 44. So I'm looking like, well, maybe, like this person told me, well, maybe that's incest that was going on between you and him. And from my understanding, yeah, it could have been just plain old incest, because we were so close in age. I don't know what it was, to tell you the truth, but all of my life I would say he sexually abused me. But if it's sexual abuse, it's sexual abuse. If it's incest, it's incest. It's something that I didn't like, didn't entertain, didn't want to do, and he knew I didn't want to do that. There was times when I got so tired of him that I literally stood up and I fought him. Basically, I pushed him out the way, and he basically overpowered me, and he, forced himself on me. But he knew I didn't like that. I didn't like none of that stuff. You know, um, I remember, I don't even know why I did it, but I went to my uncle. Instead of going to his mama, I went to his uncle. His father, I meant. I went to his father and I told him, I said, such and such is having sex with me. Like he's making me have sex with him and I don't want to do it. And you know what his father told me? So what? Who cares? That's exactly what his words were. So what? Who cares? And man, he crushed my little spirit, and I walked away from him. He went in the room. So, but anyways, there's a lot that happened, a lot of stuff. But I'm gonna look it up and really try to understand what I've been through. Like, is it incest or is it sexual abuse that I went through? Because I don't know. I don't know. I know it wasn't rape, you know, because there's no penetration there, But, I don't know what it was. Now, my uncle, I knew what it was. It was molestation. He molested me. He fondled me, you know, and he would rub his body up against my body. And I remember one time he put his tongue in my ear and kissing on my neck and feeling on my breasts and all that stuff like that. That's what he was doing towards me. And just want to just set the record straight. I never liked anything of what my uncle-in-law was doing or his son. Never liked it. And they knew I didn't like it. And I was just afraid to speak up at the time and say this is what was happening to me. I remember my uncle, he looked me right in my face. He's like, don't tell nobody. The force of his voice and how he stared at me put a lot of fear in me. I was scared. I mean, I felt like I was in danger, like if I tell. And so I never did. But anyways, that's story time. And as you see, it's getting dark. So that's why you can barely see my face now. But I'm gonna cut this video short, and I'll make another video about something else at a later date. But I just want y'all to know that if anybody's being sexually abused, molested, incest, whatever, report it to somebody, an adult, a trusted adult, a police officer, your parents, school social worker, um, um, teacher, whoever. Report it to somebody that would listen to you so they can take the necessary steps to help you out. Because, that shouldn't be going on with no kid should ever have to suffer through nothing like that. It's traumatizing and it just mess a kid up for life, because of that. For me, I've been through a lot. I tried to kill myself a couple of times when I was younger, all because of what these people done towards me. So, but anyways, just whatever you do, like I said, if anybody's doing anything to you, report it to the necessary people that you can trust. All right, I'll talk to you later. Okay, peace. Bye.